Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of New York Giants Conversations. We about to get into it, man. We got a lot, to talk about. It's gonna be an action-packed show. Of course, the draft is coming up, so we're gonna get into that. The Giants are being rumored to have some trade options. So we're going to talk about all the options. We're going to lay it all on the table for y'all. John Harbaugh and his coordinators did speak at the New York Giants offseason program. We're going to get into that. And we're going to look at the NFC East, man. This NFC East, man, it's going to be a battle this year, I believe. And we talked about the defenses. This week, we're going to look at these offenses, man. Who has the best offense in the NFC East? We're going to be taking a look at that. Got some on the money or out of pocket. Y'all going to want to stay tuned for that, man. It's going to be wild, man. Some wild stuff going on out there in the world. So on the money or out of pocket, and little known Giants, man. Guys that are on your roster that you should know about who could possibly make the roster and contribute. All that much more. I'm on Popular Opinion Sports with my co-host Big Pat Sports Talk. Pat, it's Giants Conversation, man. We gotta buckle up, man. Pull our boots up, man, and strap up, bro. I know you ain't feeling too well, but
it's just time to have some conversations, man, about this New York Giants team. Draft conversation, trades are among us. Talking about trading the draft, talking about trading probably our best player. It's a lot to talk about with the Giants right now. Harbaugh speaks, you said some things about Harbaugh. We're gonna talk a lot about this Giants team, man. This is Giants Conversations, man. Conversations need to be had, and where else better to have them right here on the Aboriginal Sports Network, right here on Giants Convo, man.
Yeah, man. You already know what it is. So we're gonna hit the intro. We're gonna come back. Y'all hit that like while we do our thing, get stuff together, and we're going to hit y'all right back, man. It's Giants Conversation. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Giants Convo.
All right, man. We back in the building, man. What's good, everybody, man? Appreciate y'all tapping into New York Giants Conversations. Mr. February, man. Salute to you, man. Let's go Giants, man. Thanks for tapping in, man. Iman Perry, what's good, man? Appreciate you tapping in, man. Definitely, man. What it do? Coach, what's good, man? Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for tapping in, man. We're going to get into this New York Giants conversation, man. I've been keeping my eyes on things that have been moving and shaking around in the New York Giants, especially with the draft coming up. So, the offseason program has started, and one notable absent is Dexter Lawrence. So, of course, John Harbaugh, you got Matt Nagy, Denard Wilson, they all spoke. And of course, the conversations about Dexter Lawrence, who requested a trade from the New York Giants. And to be honest with you, this is John Harbaugh's biggest test right here. How to handle this Dexter Lawrence situation. It's his first test, and we gotta listen to what John Harbaugh had to say, because you got to pay attention and you got to hear how these guys approach these things, because again, it's no Brian Dable, no Joe Shane. This is on Harbaugh. So asked about the Dexter Lawrence situation. Let's hear what he had to say.
What are your thoughts on that and, the prospects of him being a Giant moving forward?
Yeah, we'll find out. I think the prospects are going to be high because the Giants, speaking for the Giants, we want Dexter here, and I believe Dexter wants to be here. And that's a good formula, but there's business involved. It's a business proposition. We know it's pro football, and these things happen every year, pretty much on every team. So, not surprised by it. Saw it coming a few weeks back, probably, and good conversations with Dexter's agent, Joel Siegel, and understood what they were thinking, and this is where we're at. So we'll just try to work through it and see where we can get done.
What are your thoughts on that? And
all right, so then you heard Harbaugh speaking about Dexter Lawrence, pretty much, saying that, they want him here, this is business. And obviously the New York Giants and John Harbaugh have to rectify the situation as quickly as possible. So him not being there, I mean, it is what it is. He's the one giving up the bonus money. So, you're going to go into your offseason program without Dexter Lawrence, probably up until, I would say, at least training camp. Now, if something ain't worked out by training camp, then I think some eyebrows have to be raised, because you definitely want him there in training camp with you implementing a new defensive system with Denard Wilson. And we're going to hear from Denard Wilson here in a little bit. But Dexter Lawrence is the first part of this. We're going to talk about trades here, but obviously if they can't get something worked out, they are going to have to look at trading him, and, a lot of us, me personally, don't want to see that happen. Like Dexter Lawrence as a player, I think the Giants defense definitely needs him, especially when you talk about stopping the run. So John Harbaugh, I think he knows that deep down inside, they're going to get something worked out. That's kind of what I took from this situation. He mentioned having good conversations with the agent. He mentioned, knowing this was coming. And he mentioned the business about football. So all those three things, when you listen to it, sounds like a man that knew this was going to happen and knows how to handle it. But chat, Pat, y'all talk to me, man. This Giants conversation, man. What's y'all thoughts on John Harbaugh and, his potential handling of the Dexter Lawrence situation? How should he handle it? Should Dexter Lawrence be traded? What can you get for Dexter Lawrence in the trade? We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but let's focus on this for right now. Pat, what you got?
It's just business, man. Like one of my favorite characters in the movie, Nino Brown, man. It's nothing personal. It's just business. A lot of players do this that want, bigger contracts and feel that they've outplayed what their contract is giving them. That man is like, is he even still top 10 in paid defensive tackles now? So that's what this was about. I said when he signed that contract, he signed a year too early and gave us a bargain. I knew that was going to be a bargain. Him at $22 million per year, I was like, watch. And sure as shit stank, the very same offseason, somebody signed for more money than him. And I was like, that ain't going to last too long. That whatever that deal was, he's going to try to get out of it in 2 years and try to get his money, which he should. So it's just a business standpoint. John Harbaugh knows the business, and Dexter Lawrence and his agent know the business. They know what time it is, and you just got to go through the punches. You have to show them that you mean business. So, yeah, asking for a trade shows that you mean business. That's the only way they can show that they mean business as far as the player, because they're under contract. So you can ask for a trade and try to cause as much ruckus as you can to get your money sooner than they want to give it to you. That's what I think it is. They want Dexter Lawrence to play out this year and then try to give him his money. You know what I'm saying? And it could actually work out for the best for Dex because then he could probably get up to $30 million like he wants if he plays under that $22 million this year. So who knows? I mean, maybe Dexter Lawrence holding out might not be the best thing for him. He might need to just go out there and ball out and go get the 30+ million and tell the Giants, if you're not coming to the table with 32, I'm not talking to you. You know, that could actually play out that way too. So it's just a business aspect. I don't think there's no foul play on either side. Is Dexter Lawrence wants to get paid, they want to wait a little bit longer to pay you. They want you to finish out that cheap contract that you signed because you were, you know, being a team player at the time. And that's what happened. So he's got to get his money somehow. And they're like, no, we're not trying to pay you right now. But I'm trying to get paid.
Exactly. Coach says it. Dexter screaming, show me the money. Definitely, man. Yeah. Iman says Dex needs to come down off that money. Play better this year, then get more money. I agree. You know, I mean, he's his time is a little off. I will admit that, but I will also admit that he has a legit argument. Man, he is underpaid, regardless of what kind of year he had last year. You should actually trade before free agency. Got more money. Yep. Man Cave says sign Dex, give him the money. Can't keep letting homegrown talent walk out the door. I agree, and that is a great segue to the next part of this. What John Harbaugh talked about, and you know, y'all been mentioning it in the chat here, but I'm gonna go ahead and cue it up here. So. Let's see. All right.
Kavon, his name has come up in trade talks.
How
do you view him? Do you view him as a piece of the foundation, or do you think he's a guy who could be traded?
I think he's a great player. I'm excited about him. I was fired up to see him today. He looks great. He's in great shape. And I'm thinking about him on the field. I'm thinking about getting him plugged into our defense and getting him rolling. I think, you want to talk about well, is he a trade possibility? Everybody's tradable. Everybody, even you're tradable, Dan. If we would get something for you, we trade you in a heartbeat, man. But, it's not really what you focus on. You focus on the fact that we're having a day. We're talking ball. We're getting our team is coming together as a team, and the business part of it, is the business part, and that kind of swirls around us, but we try to lock in on the football.
Kavon, his name has come up in trade talks. How do you view him? Do you view him as all
right, so talking there about Kavon Thibodeaux, another person who has came up in these trade discussions, and Mr. Murphy said, like he said, everyone is tradable. Harbaugh wanted to trade a reporter. Yeah, what can you get for Dan Duggan? Like he's all options are out there. You know what I'm saying? But again, all jokes aside, man, Kavon Thibodeaux trade smoke has been growing. It has been there for a while now. And John Harbaugh saying everyone's tradable is exactly what he means. Everyone's tradable. Doesn't mean he's going to trade everyone, though. A lot of people want a lot of these players on the Giants traded. Like, it just doesn't work that way in the NFL. With Dexter Lawrence, I can definitely say more than likely that's a no. Kavon Thibodeaux, I'm coming back to 50-50 on it now. Just based on this and based on the fact that the Giants don't have a third-round pick. And we're going to get into trade scenarios here in just a little bit. Y'all hit that like button. But just the fact that they don't have a third-round pick kind of makes me feel like they want to try to get more picks in this draft some way, somehow. They may not be able to trade out of 5. They may not be able to trade out of 37, which is a second-round pick. So you may have to trade a player. But again, you trying to build a defense, and Man Cave talked about, letting homegrown talent walk out the door, and that's kind of essentially what you would be doing again here. Everyone knows Kavon Thibodeaux is a good player. Is he a great player? Nah, he hasn't got there yet. But he's a solid edge rusher. You know what I mean? So you don't want to just give that away. That's why Harbaugh is kind of like, well, yeah, they're tradable, but we want our players here. Someone gonna blow you out the water and give you a third and some more picks for Kavon Thibodeaux. I don't know. What is blowing you out the water for Kavon Thibodeaux? A second? Can you get that? But Pat, what you think?
I might take this a different route. I'm gonna stay on subject, but I'm gonna take it a different route. First and foremost, I don't think you trade Kavon Thibodeaux for no less than a second. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. He was a number 5 overall pick. He's got a 10-sack season underneath his belt, and he proved that he's one of the best run-stopping edge rushers in the league last year on a bad defense. And I think he got something to prove this year, and I don't think you want to lose that. I think he really wants to come and play for John Harbaugh. I think he wants to show the world who he is, because we all know he has aspirations off the field when he's done. He's been trained for it. You can look at his background and tell that he's been trained to be in the public eye when he's done. And he's going to do that. And to get to that legend status, or the status that he wants to off the field, you got to win on the field. A la Michael Strahan. And so I think he wants to do it right here in New York. He knows this is the biggest market out there. And I really thought he was chosen for a reason to be here, because of those aspirations. So you don't trade him no less than a third, and you're definitely not trading him to a market that's not big for his personality. I think that kid has a future off the field, and I think it's already been set, but that's another conversation. But the more I look at this guy, John Harbaugh, man, like they said, you don't know somebody until you live with him.
Mm-hmm.
This dude's a chameleon, man. He's one of those guys that, I'm not gonna say not trustworthy, because he's gonna do what he's gonna say. He's gonna do what he says he's gonna do. But I think behind closed doors, he's a shrewd businessman. I think behind closed doors, he might smile, but behind closed doors, he's gonna get rid of you. I just think that we're gonna find out a lot about John Harbaugh in these upcoming seasons, man. And his first season is gonna tell a lot. How he thinks and how he moves. And right now, I'm not saying anything bad about him. He's not moving bad. I know a politician when I see one.
Yeah.
I know a politician when I see one. And he's the right man for the job. He has a lot of ties. So when he says everybody is tradable, he is not bullshitting.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He is not bullshitting.
No bullshit.
You might see somebody who you never thought would be traded all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Except for his guys, like Isaiah Likely or Patrick Ricard. I think those dudes are automatically safe because those are his guys. So we'll see. OBJ is trying to get back in there through Harbaugh. You know, him and Harbaugh had a good relationship over there with the Ravens. And so he's trying to work those ties. So he might have a little bit more power than you think, which I think he does. But we'll see a lot more about John Harbaugh in the future, man. But check it out, though.
Check it out. So they talking about trading possibly Kavon Thibodeaux, Dexter Lawrence. Like, you can't trade everybody on that defense. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's what I'm saying. A lot of this is smoke. Yeah. BG says BGPX so-called bad. Yeah, this man had a bad defensive coordinator. He had one subpar season. Pay this man. Yeah.
He's talking about
Dex. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iman says, dude fired Wink. Yeah. Guess what? Wink wants back in too. Yeah. Yeah, no bullshit. I'm gonna show y'all. Yeah. Charlie says, didn't bring them in to let them go. Think you're right. Let's take a listen to our defensive coordinator though, since we're talking about the defense. Mr. Denard Wilson. See what he has to say.
Or whatnot. Obviously, your background being defensive backs. I'm wondering what you see from your cornerbacks when you just met them, but from film work or whatnot, the depth chart, what you see of your cornerback position, and particularly, I'm interested in Deonte Banks. If you met him before the draft at all when he was coming out, if you've chatted with him since you've got this job, because obviously a first round pick who's been up and down here and is at a pivotal point in his career.
Yeah, it's a mixture of older and younger guys in the room. It's a room that's going to be competitive. We have guys that have played at a high level, and then we have some young guys that haven't had the opportunity to play. It's our job as coaches to get them to play as one. I don't think it's an individual thing. When you play good defense in the back end, it's all 4 or 5 guys that's on the field. And you got to know and put them in the best positions and call the right things to allow them to play as fast as they need to play. So it's going to be competition at the position, just like everywhere else. I think competitiveness and competition makes your team better. In terms of the question, in terms of Banks, yeah, I know Banks. I remember evaluating him coming out. Obviously, he's a Maryland Terp. I'm a Maryland Terp. So I had just a little bit of background with him. He's a talented player. He's big. He can run. He brings an element of physicality, but he's had a up and down career thus far. So for us, it's coming in with a clean slate. And that's everybody on his defense. No matter what has been done in the past, where they were drafted, how they were acquired, we're coming in here as a clean slate. And we're trying to evaluate the players and see what they do well. And we're trying to teach them our way of football. In terms of Banks, I think we have 2 great DB coaches in Donald and Addison that does an excellent job in teaching DB play, footwork, technique, eyes. And I think, it's going to be beneficial to all of them. Teo have the opportunity to go out there and get better. We're going to put things on his plate. We're going to try to make things as simple as they can be in terms of conceptual teaching. And that's for everybody. I was raised and my dad always told me, hey, keep it simple. And we have ways to kind of simplify things to make it all, fit no matter what the call or the structure is. So, we're going to give them all the opportunity and we're going to see what they all can pick up and how they grasp it. And the best guys are going to play ultimately.
All right. So you hear Mr. Denard Wilson right there. And he talked a lot, man. He talked a lot about Tay Banks. There's another guy we're going to talk about in this trade discussion coming up. But Deonte Banks, man, the Giants should have a number 1 corner right now. It should be Deonte Banks. That's what they drafted him for in the first round. And year 1, he looked like it. And then they fired Wing. You bring in Bowen and change the scheme and yada, yada, yada. Then Dable benches him, puts him on special teams, and then here we are. So, but it sounds like Denard Wilson is willing to give him a shot. But we still talking about the Giants needing corners. They signed Newsome and Paulson Adebo, who, by the way, didn't attend the program. What's his deal? But never mind that. Denard Wilson, this dude right here, I think he gets it. He talked about making the defense simple, and that could be what a lot of these guys. Maybe the defense wasn't simple enough. Maybe they putting too much on these guys' plate.
Outsmarting themselves.
So that's what Denard Wilson, I think he's gonna come in here and do, and it may give guys like Deonte Banks and even Tyler Nubin a better shot at producing, because those are high draft picks, and we shouldn't even be talking about corner in the first round in this draft, because you should have those guys there. But Pat, what's your thoughts, man? I know you like talking defense, bro, man. Go ahead, get them, bro. what you got for us?
Mate, what if it was just the atmosphere for a lot of these players? The Evan Neals, the Deonte Banks, because a lot of these dudes show promise when they first got there, and then the atmosphere took over. You see what I'm saying? All the changing and all the BS and all the power struggle and everything. But remember, like you said, Banks was balling on the Wink system. He showed he was covering people. He was actually being known as one of the rising stars, and then they fired Wink, and it just, because remember, he was drafted for Wink. Wink was like, I need that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And what if this Raven system is just what everybody needs? Maybe the Giants got a change of scenery without having to change the scene. You just brought in a new character and a new coach and a new coaching staff. Like, really get rid of the coaching staff and stop bringing all these other dudes from other teams and try to form the Avengers, and just bring somebody that already got a squad with them and let's work. You trying to bring Shane Bourne from over here, you got Dabo from over there, you got freaking Kafka from the Chiefs, and let's build this Avengers coaching staff. No, let's just bring somebody who has a staff that he trusts already.
Mm-hmm.
He don't need to gain trust with Greg Roman and Matt Nagy, and that. He's worked with all these guys before. Denard Wilson bringing his homeboys with him that he's worked already under Harbaugh. Everybody that's on this team has worked under Harbaugh already, so they know the culture. No culture has to be built now. So when you're going to every single coach and the culture is the exact same, you got to follow what Brian Dabo says. Usually I don't do that. No, everybody, every coach is like, this is what we do. I go to Denard Wilson, this is what we do. I go to my DB's coach, this is what we do. I go to my linebackers coach, this is what we do. This is what we do. There's no Chuck saying, hey, we should be doing this. I don't know what Shane Bourne doing, but I'm going to teach you how to do this, Abdul Carter. Yeah, Abdul Carter gets better, but nobody else is getting better because everybody's following. They don't know who to follow. That's what I think what was going, and that's why it was so chaotic. A lot of people want to make jokes about us when we say we want to be scouts and we got coaching experience. I've literally got coaching experience in high school. If you're not on one accord, then your whole team is gone because they got too many different coaches going in their ear, too many different things, too many different schemes, too many different personalities, too many different. You don't know if this coach is trying to get this coach out the door. You don't know if Charlie is trying to get Shane Bourne out the door. You're not saying Charlie's that type of person, but hell, he might know I'm better than this dude. I don't mess with this dude. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Why do you think the defense was so good with Wink? Because Wink brought all his people with him. But Dabo's ego got involved. You've seen that the team was following Wink more, because I promise you they were. It was pure defense when we got those wins. They was getting like 3 to 4 turnovers a game. I'll never forget that. I was like, man, this defense is balling. Even sorry Isaiah Simmons was getting pick sixes. And so, not to be long-winded, but I like the direction that this is going. If Wink was the head coach, we would have been a better team. I will say that. If Wink was the head coach that year, we would have been a better team. But when Brian Daboll and Wink was on one accord at 2022 season, we made the playoffs with a trash team.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if they would have stayed the course and stayed together. No, Daboll wanted it to be about him. He wanted his guy, my guy. That's all, man. I'm telling you, bro.
Mm-hmm. But go ahead. That is what it is, man. You know, and I think this cat right here, like, he's a guy that's gonna command respect on that defense, man. I think they got the right hire. Just listening at him, listening at his approach, and the fact that he did keep Charlie Bullen for Abdul Carter, because you know Abdul Carter loved that dude, man. You know, he called him Chuck, man. That was his guy. You know, so the fact that he did that, the fact that he does have some of his guys in, like you said, and the fact that he wants to bring, you know, a defense that's going to be physical. And he talked about Deonte Banks, man. You know, if you can get Banks and some of these guys performing, then you got depth.
Yeah.
Hella depth. Because you would have a starting corner, number one corner. Then you would have guys that can play too, like Debo and Newsome, who are way better in those roles than as any type of number one corner. You know, somebody coming off your bench. And then if you go get a guy in the draft, like a Thaddeus Dixon or somebody like that, you know, in the late rounds, you got some depth. But yeah, all right, let's hear from the offensive guy, Mr. Matt Nagy. Let's hear what he has to say about Mr.
You know, who am I going to work with? What, you know, I'm sure when you're looking at job.
Hold on. That's going to be his main job, is to make sure that dude develops. So let's hear what Matt Nagy has to say. And these are interviews coming out of Giants.com.
What, you know, I'm sure when you're looking at jobs and things and John calls you and, you know, you think, okay, Giants, I would imagine one of the first things, or maybe the first thing is, okay, who's the quarterback? You know, who am I going to work with here? When you asked that question and you started digging into Jackson Dart, what did you see and what do you think? And then, you know, seeing him today, how did that feel?
Yeah, well, to start off, I was really excited when Coach Harbs gave me the phone call. We've had a prior relationship years ago, and obviously him being in the Andy Reid tree from back in Philadelphia, there's a connection there, and just have had a ton of respect for him as a person and as a coach, the success he's had. So when he called initially, it was just great to talk to him, and then you start getting into the football side of it and what you know, we have going on here. And I was able to watch a decent amount of Jackson last year when I was in Kansas City. We try to, you know, take as little time as possible in Kansas City watching the quarterback position, but every year I will watch just to kind of see the top guys that are there. And I remember coming away really impressed with Jackson and his accuracy. And then I didn't know back then, a year ago, or 2 years ago, I didn't know how tough he was and how good of a runner he was. He was a really good, sneaky good runner, tough, physical, played the quarterback position well, accurate, and you could see he was a competitor. And I remember then at the combine, us not really being in the quarterback market, watching him, just kind of observing how he handled himself in that group of guys at the combine, and you could see this moxie that he had, and he had this it factor. And when I got here to New York and got to meet him and started talking to him, it was, you could tell right away that everything was true. I mean, this kid is different that way. And so my initial conversation with Coach Harbs was, hey, excited, really looking forward to being able to help out in many ways. and building that relationship and that trust. And I know he had a great year last year, but we want to make it even better and continue to have him grow. And I want to be there to help him.
All right. So you heard Mr. Matt Nagy talking about Jackson Dart. And, like he said, he's going to be in charge of, helping this guy develop. He's going to be the main player in that. And, a lot of people question Matt Nagy about, the Justin Fields situation over there in Chicago, whatever. But he said he watched Jackson Dart. He's had his eyes on him, and he mentioned him as a runner. I thought that was key. When I heard that, he's accurate, but he's a sneaky good runner. So, I'm kind of curious to what style of offense the Giants are going to employ. I think I kind of got a feel what the defense going to do, to be honest with you. I got a better feel, but the offense is really curious to kind of figure out how they're going to do, and what kind of system they're going to implement. Matt Nagy mentioned coaching under Andy Reid. You look at the Chiefs system, and so I don't know, but they did bring in Greg Roman. I think they got Callahan here too. So you really got to see how it all meshed together. But the key thing here is this guy's relationship with Jackson Dart. So I feel like, at least I hope they're getting off on the right foot. And Matt Nagy is going to be a real key player here with the New York Giants. A lot of people got focused on Harbaugh. A lot of people focus on the defense, and what they're going to do. But I'm paying attention to this guy right here, and where he's going to put out there on the field to help the Giants. Because the biggest thing with the New York Giants is they have had bad offenses. For all the offensive so-called gurus they brought in here, Pat Shurmur's and Ben McAdoo's and Brian Daboll's and Jason Garrett's and all these people, they've had shitty offenses. So it's time for this offense to get back, into the upper echelon of the NFL as far as being able to put points up on the board. You ain't got to be explosive. Ain't nobody asking you to be the Kansas City Chiefs or Buffalo Bills or anybody like that, man. But be able to put up points on the board. Don't go out there and, average fucking 14 points a game or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you got to at least be able to score 3 touchdowns in the modern day NFL. And if you can't average that, which is the Giants have been struggled mightily. I think in 2022, they got barely over 21 points a game, but it has been a goddamn struggle. And, people questioning Matt Nagy, but I'm hopeful that he has an answer, man, for this team. And he's got the weapons. We'll see what they do on the offensive line. But you got the pieces here when you talk about Scatbo, Neighbors, and now Isaiah Likely. So, but what you thinking, Pat, man? What's your thoughts on Matt Nagy, and what do you think they're gonna do on offense, man? When you're looking at him and his relationship with Jackson Dart and how Jackson Dart played last year, what do you think he's thinking of how to use Jackson Dart in this offense?
I think this is going to be a multifaceted offense, and I think they're going to do it based on what the defenses that they're playing. And I know it sounds cliche, but I really think they're going to attack it that way. You have to look at what they do in the draft. If they're cool with the running backs that they have, it's going to be a power run game. If they stand pat with Scatterbo and Tracy and Singletary, it's going to be a power run game. And then let's just say they go defensive in the first round, trenches in the first 2 rounds. It's going to be a quick passing scheme with the power run game and try to hit you deep. And when Malik Neighbors gets back to form, that's when you'll see the offense start to open up a little bit more. They'll start going down the field a little bit more. look for them to use Malik Neighbors a little bit how they use Zay Flowers, as far as running him all over the field to try to get him in open spots, and Darnell Mooney as the deep threat type guy. Not saying I know you don't like the guy. I'm not saying that he is it, but they're gonna have to use what they have, and Isaiah Likely is probably gonna have a huge season. I think they're gonna get him the ball a whole lot because they have to. They're gonna use those 2 tight ends, and we're gonna see how the Matt Nagy, John Harbaugh relationship is. I don't think it's a question about Greg Roman. Greg Roman's there to do his job with the running game. It's going to be, what does John Harbaugh want, and how does Matt Nagy adjust his scheme to what John Harbaugh wants? You see what I'm saying? Because John Harbaugh loves to use the tight ends. Remember, they had Charlie Kohler, Likely, and Andrews over there with the Ravens. Why you think they let Rashawn Bateman stay there as long as they did? Because they love to use the tight end, so they really don't need 2 dominant receivers on the outside. We got Zay Flowers that can maneuver in the middle of the field, and we get down the field with the tight ends and this power run game. So you're going to have games where we might put up 17 points, but we may still win the game because the defense is going crazy. Then you might play some teams that can't guard the RPO with Jackson Dart, and Jackson Dart's having a hell of a game running and passing the ball. So I think the offense is going to be an adjustment period for the first couple of games because they have to get adjusted. This team has to get adjusted to an actual scheme. This is not just go out there and play. This is an actual scheme. So they're going to have to know that this is a scheme. This is not just use your talent like Dabo was telling you to do. Go out there and use your talent. Jackson Dart, go out there, use your legs, man. Make something happen. He's going to have to be like, okay, I got to go within the offense, and if everything breaks down, then I make something happen. That's a mental thing. You might see in the beginning Jackson Dart's just running for no reason, and they're going to have to tell him, hey, kid, settle down. This is the scheme. Play within the scheme. All right, coach, I got you. You don't have to run all over the field from the get-go right now. But if there is a question mark about this coaching staff, it is going to be Matt Nagy, his offense, compared to what John Harbaugh wants. And like I said, John Harbaugh, he's a politician. He gave him a couple of bones already. He gave him Mooney already. He gave him Austin already. You know, he likes those quick twitcher receivers where you can get the ball to him quick. But he also brought in his people too, and Ricard and Isaiah Likely. You damn sure gonna use them. So Isaiah Likely might get as many targets as Neighbors, like Iman Perry said. You never know, but that's just my thought.
But we're gonna switch gears here. We're gonna get into some possible trade targets. I did mention that we talked about Thibodeaux, we talked about Deonte Banks, we talked about Dexter Lawrence, and there's an article out there by Ralph Vacchiano of Fox Sports, but Giants Wire here, they condensed the article, so we don't have to read that whole article of all the teams. Just want to focus on the Giants. So I'm gonna pull this up here in just a second, but make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for your boy Unpopular Opinion Sports, for the Aboriginal Sports Network, and for Big Pat Sports Talk, man. We are here with New York Giants conversations, baby. Talking Giants, man, and let's get into some possible trade situations here. All right. So, like I mentioned, Giants Wire here. 3 Giants named trade targets for AFC teams ahead of the NFL draft. The original article is by Ralph Vacchiano. But we're going to hit it here real quick. I'm going to briefly read here. New York Giants have just 2 picks, number 5, 30, and number 37 in the first 3 rounds of the 2026 NFL Draft later this month, and could be in a market to add more. General Manager Joe Shane claims he's open for business every year, but usually trades up to grab players he wants. He rarely trades back. Veteran NFL writer Ralph Racchiano, Fox Sports, we already talked about that, but 3 Giants appeared on the list. Let's get into it. The first one here. Baltimore Ravens acquire linebacker Kavon Thibodeaux in exchange for a 3rd-round pick, number 80th overall, and a 2027 conditional 5th-round pick. Says new head coach Jesse Minter is taking over a team ready for a Super Bowl run, but still too dangerously thin on the edge. The Ravens could fix that by adding Thibodeaux, who is an expensive luxury for the Giants. With Burns and Carter already there for New York, it is unlikely to re-sign Thibodeaux after this season. With that, the Giants could be willing to deal him now, especially if they could get a 3rd-round pick, which the Giants don't currently have. So, yeah. What do you think about that? 3rd-round pick for Kavon Thibodeaux. Trade him to the Baltimore Ravens for a 3rd and a 5th-round pick. How y'all feeling about that? Do you think Pat said he want a 2nd? You know what I'm saying? So is this enough? Now because they throwing that 5th round in there in 2027 next year, so you pick up an extra pick for next year. Which everybody's saying is loaded draft. They say that every year, it seems like. But anyway, you get another 5th-round pick next year. You get a 3rd rounder this year, which you don't have. But you lose Kavon Thibodeaux, who is your best edge as far as run defense is concerned. How y'all feel about that trade? Talk to me. Giants conversation.
Oh, man. Just depends on what you want to do with Kavon Thibodeaux. There's no way that you're going to pay him after this season. You're going to have to take something for him. In the 3rd rounder and the 5th rounder, that's something. It just depends on what you want to do with Kavon Thibodeaux. Yeah, it's BS as far as the compensation, but coach, if you know that he is not in your plans in the future and you are not willing to give him the 20 to 25 million per year after this year, you're gonna have to do something, or you're gonna lose him for the free, because you're not gonna franchise him.
You think Dexter Lawrence is being hard with his negotiation? Wait till Kavon Thibodeaux's contract come up, because that dude is about his bread. You can tell, bro. He's business-like.
You know what I'm saying? There's no hometown discount with him or anything like that, bro. He's about his business. He got a lot of people to take care of. And if you look at his background, so if you're not going to do anything with him after this season, that's one hell of a pick. I mean, hell of a trade for you. Get a 3rd and a 5th rounder. You know, I might try to get Marlon Humphrey in the deal also, but that's only if there's no way, no how you're going to give him any type of money after this season. Now, if there's a chance you pay him, I'm throwing that trade in the trash. I'd rather pay Thibodeaux than get a 3rd round pick. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I want Kavon Thibodeaux on this team. I really do. But yeah, well, there's smoke, there's fire. So you could see him gone by the draft. Okay, here's one that we have to entertain just because it's out there now. And that's Dexter Lawrence. Houston acquires Dexter Lawrence in exchange for a 2026 1st-round pick. That would give the Giants the 28th pick and a 2026 2nd-round pick, currently 59th. The 28-year-old Lawrence wants out of New York. We all know that, blah, blah, blah. He 1 year removed from a 9-sack Pro Bowl campaign, and the Texans need reinforcements inside to complement their dynamic duo on the edge, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. Houston would be counting on the 6'4", 345-pound Lawrence to regain his own old form in a better environment, and it also likely have to extend his contract. No shit. He could make one of the NFL's best defenses impenetrable. Of course, that is if the Giants decide to trade him rather than to pay him more. Yeah, I agree with what they said here because just from the Texans standpoint, if you put Dexter Lawrence in that defense,
oh my God,
oh boy,
they had a Super Bowl winning defense last year.
Right.
Then if you add Dexter Lawrence to it, good God.
Wow.
CJ Stroud gonna have to turn over the ball 10 times for them to lose.
But from the Giants standpoint, that's what we're here to talk about. The Giants conversations. Dexter Lawrence, a first and a second. You doing that deal?
If there's no reconciliation, I don't think you have a choice but to do that deal. If there's no reconciliation.
And I think Houston would be interested because based off what they said, bro, like this will make their defense like next level.
Yeah. And that's a good haul for Dexter Lawrence. I mean, now you got 2 firsts and 2 seconds now. I'm not doing a trade just to do it. I'm only doing if there's no reconciliation that could be had between us and Dexter Lawrence. If he's like, I just want out, that's one hell of a haul. A first, a second, and I'm looking to get another pick too, because if Quentin Williams could get 3 picks, I could get 3 picks for Dexter Lawrence. And Quentin Williams got 2 firsts. You see what I'm saying? Except that the first weren't in the same year, so I get it. You get a second this year and a first this year. Yeah. What's up, Dash? But yeah, if there's no reconciliation, I'm taking that, and I'm getting a player in return. I'm getting something. Y'all got to give me something else to add to that. Give me a 5th rounder or a 4th rounder next year. Give me something next year too, and you got a deal. It could be a 3rd rounder or a 4th rounder next year.
But they're giving you that second next year, so they basically give you a first this year and a second next year. What I would try to do.
No. They're giving both those picks. They say they are this year.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, damn, that is this year. First and second this year.
I'm telling you, you got 2 firsts this year and 2 seconds this year. That's a haul. You see what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be mad at that. If Dexter Lawrence just wants out, I'm taking that deal.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a little something extra on the side because Dexter Lawrence makes your defense just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's got to be a tax on that because, like, you're gonna have the best defense in the NFL. But I have to say, man, a first in the second. Yeah, that's this year's picks. I want at least I want like a 5th next year, and then we got a deal.
Yeah, give me a 4th or a 5th. Give me a bone.
Yeah, give me a 4th or 5th next year. You're gonna have to pay him, you know. And I'll just deal with the hole in my defense.
Yeah.
So, don't make no bones about it. If the Giants move on from Dexter Lawrence, I think their run defense is going to be really, it's going to struggle, I would say. I think so. But I'm just going to put it nicely. All right. So we talked about Dex, talked about Kavon Thibodeaux. Let's go on to the next one. I got one more here. Deonte Banks. Raiders acquired Deonte Banks in exchange for a 2026 6th-round pick, 185th overall. If their instincts were right, they tried to trade star pass rusher Max Crosby to Baltimore for 2 first-round picks. They are likely multiple years away from being competitive again, so their focus should be on acquiring assets. But they are also thin at corner and are the type of team that can sure take a flyer on a player like Banks. Talented enough to be a first-round pick, but a bust so far in the NFL. For basically nothing, Las Vegas can spend a year seeing if defensive coordinator Rob Leonard can turn him into a serviceable player. If not, the cost would be negligible. If Leonard can, though, the Raiders could re-sign Banks, and they would have gotten him for a steal. Banks for a 6th-round pick.
Hell no.
What you think?
Hell no. He's worth more on special teams than that, bro. What you gonna get for a 6th-round pick?
A lot of people out of favor with Banks, though.
I ain't that out of favor with him. A 6th-round pick.
You ain't getting much more from him at this point.
And I keep him on the team.
You know what I'm saying?
If I can't get no more than a 6th-round pick, what do I get rid of him for? He could be a Pro Bowl special teamer if that's the case. You saw what he did. And then let's just say that he gets a resurgence because of the coaching that he's getting now. Hell, that's not worth it. Get that, bro.
Yeah. That's why I let y'all hear from them coaches before we brought this up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But if he is just a special teamer, Pat, then that is what a 6th-round pick is worth, bro. Just to be honest with you. He's gotta play corner, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't care if he didn't play corner. I'm not getting rid of a former 1st-round pick for a 6th-round pick when I'm getting in the 6th round. You might as well keep him. See if he could be an all-pro kick returner.
If he's just viewed as a special teamer, which we don't know, if he's just viewed as a special teamer, then that is worth a 6th-round pick. If you think you can get something from him at corner, then yeah, you getting more for that.
No, I'm just saying, I'm not mad about the compensation. I'm saying it's just not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
That dude could be an all-pro kick returner. That's better than a 6th-round pick.
True that.
I mean, I could at least see if it was a 4th, maybe. But no, I wouldn't care if I knew that I was going to get rid of him. I'm not getting rid of him for a 6th-round pick. What am I going to do with that?
All right. So, I'm going to propose this for you. Let's go to the Giants side of it because, that was kind of from the AFC team's perspective. So, Vacchiano in this same article gives the Giants a trade scenario, and let's cue it up. All right, so the Giants, we kind of teased it earlier, talked about Marlon Humphrey. The Giants acquired Marlon Humphrey from the Baltimore Ravens. Always Ravens and Giants connected now, right?
Yeah.
So we trading Kavon Thibodeaux to them. They're giving us Marlon Humphrey. Okay, cool. Cost would be a 4th-round pick and a 7th-round pick. The thinnest position on the Giants roster right now might be corner. Totally agree. Where the veteran Paulson Adebo has battled injuries the past 2 seasons. Deontay Banks, who we just talked about, has been a bust. They took a flyer on Greg Newsome. Humphrey, who's a 4-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time All-Pro, will be 30 and carries a $15.25 million salary. So there's that, but
hold up real quick. Be right back.
Yeah, so he might not cost more than a day 3 pick. The Ravens will be okay in the secondary without him, and they could make this a win-win if they can entice Baltimore with edge rusher Kavon Thibodeaux in a blockbuster deal. So, Marlon Humphrey, y'all giving up a 4th for Marlon Humphrey? A 4th and a 7th. Of course, it's going to be pick 105 in this year's draft and then a conditional 7th in next year's draft. Got that right this time. 2027 conditional 7th-round pick next year's draft. So Marlon Humphrey, he'll come in, be a number 1 corner. What do you guys think about that? I'm personally, I'd rather do that than, but see, well, he carries a $15 million salary, so I mean, you paying him. He knows the Denard Wilson system. I would do that deal. And if you can actually keep Kavon Thibodeaux and just give up the picks, why not? Why not? Because you don't have a real legit corner out there that can lock down, or not even lock down, just get in the way of some of these top flight receivers. You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes be getting burnt. And I think Marlon Humphrey playing for John Harbaugh, I think he can help solidify that secondary and get some of these guys on the same page in Wilson's system. So I like this deal. 4th round pick. Can't beat that. I mean, I don't think it's a bad deal. What's y'all thoughts though? Dad says no. Hell no. A 4th, hell no. You wouldn't do a 4th? So what? A 5th? I mean, because you high on Newsom? I'm not high on Newsom. Not really. But you got a bunch of these guys that are out there. So you got Banks, right? He's going to be a project for Denard Wilson. We heard what Denard Wilson said earlier. So then you got Newsom, who's going to be kind of a reclamation project for Denard Wilson. Like, give me a guy that can go in there and just like hit the ground and play football. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't got to try to redo them and remake them into something good. We know what Paulson Adebo is basically a nothing burger, in my opinion. I'm like, Marlon Humphrey for a 4th, I would think about it. I don't know about giving all the extra 7th rounder and all that stuff. Like, give straight up for a 4th round pick. I think it's a good move. What you think, Pat?
I think that's a heck of a move. Marlon Humphrey straight up for a 4th round pick.
William Morton, God, the Giants fans don't want him. I said, I'm not doing it. Doesn't make sense. Don't want Marlon Humphrey. Dad says a 4th. Hell no. Iman says only a 4th. Yes. So we got one.
Yeah. What's with y'all and guys that are 30 years old? Yeah, like 30 years old is just death or something. Like, my God. 30 years old is still young. He still has like 4 good years left in him. And I mean good years. If he's a good corner.
They had a bad year last year in Baltimore. The whole team did. So I understand the concern, but we already got a bunch of question marks in the secondary. You know what I mean? So I
bet you give you more than what Paulson Adebo did.
He's gonna be better than Adebo, and that's my thing. So if you got him or Adebo, and then if you can get something out of Banks, you can move on from Adebo next season, and you know, hopefully get somebody else in here to develop. But the Giants they definitely gotta get a corner in here, because like, see, some of these moves, if you compound them, it's because, again, if you trade Kavon Thibodeaux, right, and you don't have that extra oomph in your edge rush room, and you light on the back end, and you got an unhappy nose tackle, I don't think you're going to have a very good defense. So, again, what I would do, try to hang on to Kavon Thibodeaux. If you don't want to go get Marlon Humphrey because you don't want to give up the compensation, then you got to go get a corner in the draft. You have to go get a corner in the draft, you know, if you trade Thibodeaux, then you get a 3rd round pick to get your corner. But other than that, I don't know how you solidify in the secondary, because it's still weak right now.
Based off what it was last year. Like I said, if this system is better fit with the people that are here, you can see a better secondary just because of the shift. Because maybe Newbin was playing out of place. Maybe Deontay Banks wasn't in the system that was built for him. You see what I'm saying? What if those guys are seeing because they're in a better system? You got to take that into consideration too.
Mm-hmm.
It's brand new people, so it's not the same coaches and everything from last year. It's not the same scheme from last year. So we're gonna see. Some people might get a little worse than what they were. Brian Burns might not get as many sacks as he did last year. But Abdul Carter and Trey Edmonds might go off. So it balances out. And what if your DBs just get better because they're in a better system? I think that's cool too. But Marlon Humphrey for a fourth? Yeah. Man, you gonna base his whole career off one bad season? You know, he's got multiple All-Pros and Pro Bowls, and I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I would take a fly on him if I was the Giants, but nevertheless. All right, let's look at this NFC East, man, offense. Let's look at these NFC East offenses, and we want to see how the Giants stack up against these offenses, man, because we looked at the defenses, you know, and if they can keep their guys, as we've been talking about, you know, for a lot of this stream and trading Thibodeaux and Dexter Lawrence and, you know, even Deonte Banks, if they can keep their guys and build on the defense, I think the defense will be, you know, probably second in the division behind the Eagles. But there's more questions on the offensive end. So let's take a look at the New York Giants offense here as we get into it. So we're going to start with the Giants. We're going to go through each team. So when I'm looking at this Giants offense right here, bro, notice how they got Darnell Mooney and Calvin Austin in the slot. That's the one thing right there. Now this isn't official, so don't kill me or kill our lads. Our lads, this is from our lads, so don't kill the how it looks right now, you know, because there's still a lot to be done. But let's just look at the roster per se. Look at it more from a roster standpoint, who they have. And then you got Falele and Evan Neal at right guard, just like we talked about. And I believe you got Slayton at the other, you know, receiver spot. And then we looking at the tight ends. You got Likely, Theo Johnson, Manhurts, and Fedoni. Running backs, a lot of people don't like the running backs. You probably like the first two, maybe not the other ones. When you look at Cam Scatbo, Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, Eric Gray, Turbo Miller. This is how we do this here. We grade it. Scale of 1 to 10. Giants offense. What are you giving it?
Well, a healthy Malik Neighbors changes a lot of things. I am not confident at the right guard position, especially if Falele is starting. That hurts. I'm actually pretty cool with our running backs. I think we got a hell of a 1-2 punch. And look for Turbo Miller to get on this team, bro. If they're cool with the running backs, I think he beats out Devin Singletary for that third running back position. Because remember, they always want that one really fast guy that could just burst out of nowhere, like the Keaton Mitchell dude with them, or Justice Hill, like they had over there. So look for Dante Miller to really have a chance to actually make this roster if they stand pat with the running backs. Quarterback, I'm cool. Fullback, I'm cool. Tight end, I'm cool. We got 3 receiving tight ends with a very good blocking tight end. Right tackle, good. Center up in the air. The Lucas Patrick guy, I forgot they signed him. He's actually played center and right guard, so that helps. Left guard, John Runyon, solid veteran. They're going to do what they have to do with him. Andrew Thomas, one of the best in the league. Now the receivers, a healthy Malik Neighbors, outstanding. But I'm not. Just depends on how we do this. Darius Slayton has shown that he can't be a dependable number 2. Darnell Mooney, I'm higher on Darnell Mooney than you are. He has shown that he could be a number 2 in certain systems. But after that, Calvin Austin, I think, is a special teamers. Isaiah Hodgins, I mean, he gives you height and red zone capability. Bo Collins, Jalen Hyatt, Dalen Cambry, undrafted free agent. I like Gunner. So if Gunner has to come in and play the slot, I like Gunner in the slot too. Ryan Miller, Tampa Bay, he's a little guy. Courtney Jackson, special teamer. Xavier Gibson, special teamer. And our depth on the offensive line, we got Joshua Adudu, Aaron Stinney, Patrick Lucas, Evan Neal, Jake Kubas, Brian Hudson. All of them have questions. And Marcus Bowe, I think is a good swing tackle for us. And Reed Holsky, we have to see what he does in the preseason. Overall, though, I'm going to have to give them, because the offensive line is so many question marks when it comes to depth in the right guard position, I'm going to go with 6.5 to 7. Leaning more towards 6.5.
Yeah.
Healthy Malik Neighbors, I give it a 7. No, that's not the Hudson you thinking about, Iman.
Nah, that's not James Hudson. This is Brian. Brian, this is his brother. Nah, it ain't his brother. I'm trolling. But all right. I'm gonna give this offense a 6. Borderline on a 5, to be honest with you, because I don't see how in the hell what you going to do in that middle of that offensive line, bro. And you don't have really, to be honest with you, you don't have a lot of explosive players on offense. You got Neighbors, but he's coming back from an injury. You have Likely, who's explosive from the tight end position. But other than that, you don't really have a lot of explosive players. And what I mean by, those explosive players that, boom, they take off. You know what I'm saying? They can make big plays out there for you. I don't think you're going to get that from you. The running backs can do it, but I don't think you're going to get a lot of that from the running backs, particularly Tyrone Tracy, just because the offensive line isn't as strong in the interior as you want it to be. That right guard, like Dash put out there, it's bad. It's bad. So you have to, it's worrisome. You have to really see what you're gonna do there. And then John Michael Smith, he has not shown, the capability that you want, from your center in run blocking. So, and then there's Runyon, who he's serviceable, particularly in pass protection, but not anything that's going to have you worried. To be honest with you, receiver, guard, and we'll see. I like the running backs. So I'm with you though. Like, give these guys a shot. You know what I'm saying? Give these guys a shot.
Yeah.
So I'm cool there, but definitely the receiver and the offensive line has got me where they're 6. I don't think they're trash. I think they can get that, what we talk about, 3 touchdowns a game. Bar that's been set because they have struggled to
have to work for it. I tell you that.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, yeah, 5.5, 6, right on. I'll give him a 6, man. Because I'm gonna show Jackson Dart some love. I do think he is he could possibly put this offense on another level, but just based on the fact that you see what I'm saying, just based on what we know, what we've seen so far, we got to see him take that next step that some of the quarterbacks took last year. All right, let's run through these real quick. I got 6. Pat, you got 6.5 for the Giants offense. The Eagles offense. This is who they're chasing. All right. You got AJ Brown there. Hollywood Brown. Doo-doo Brown.
Right.
you got Devontae Smith there. And then they just traded for Tavian Wicks. I mean, good God. Offensive line is still solid. They did lose their offensive line coach, but as far as talent is concerned, which is what we can judge off of, it's still one of the best in the Mayalata, Dixon, Juergens, Tyler Steen, and then Mr. False Start himself, Lane Johnson. Dallas Goedert, one of the best tight ends in the league. You got Barkley, one of the best running backs in the league, and then Jalen Hurts, who is a highly overrated quarterback who is hidden by the rest of the talent on the team. That's where the Eagles are. You could talk about some of the backups if you want to get into that. They got Quez Watkins is still over there. Tight ends, you got Johnny Mundit and Grant Calcaterra. So I'm not too familiar with a lot of these cats, but just their starters alone, I mean, probably looking at a solid 7, I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, if they keep AJ Brown, they're 8. If they're able to keep AJ Brown somehow, somewhere there, 8.
So you're going 8?
Yeah, I mean, you're good at the running back position. You're good at the tight end position. One of the best offensive lines of the game. Very good at the receiver position with Smith and AJ Brown. Then you got Dotavian Wicks to back them up, and Hollywood Brown's a deep threat. You got Darius Cooper, who's trying to be mini AJ Brown. Johnny Wilson is 6'7". Quez Watkins is a very good veteran. So, yeah, and the depth. Now, that depth is not as good as it used to be, but I guarantee they're going to change that in the NFL draft. But if they can't keep A.J. Brown, I'm putting them to a 6, just like the Giants, 6.5. But if they keep A.J. Brown, 8 to 8.5.
Yeah. Only reason I gave him a 7 out of 8 is because that quarterback.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, bro.
If they had a good quarterback, they'd beat them there 10.
Yeah. They did struggle a little bit last year as well with all their players there. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with a 7. You got an 8. Let's go to our next team here. The Washington Commandos. What a dumb name. I hate their name.
Yeah, that name is
right to the Redskins. This sounds stupid saying it. Anyway, formerly known as the Redskins, the team. Let's look at their offense. You got Scary Terry, Treylon Burks, Luke McCaffrey, De'Ami Brown, Jalen Lane, Van Jefferson, a couple other cats over there. Those are the receivers. Offensive line, Laramie Tunsil. Left guard, Chris Paul. Center, Nick Algoretti. Right guard, Sam Cosme. Right tackle, Josh Connery Jr. Tight end, Chick Okonkwo. Jesse Bates, Ben Sinai. Quarterback, of course, is Jaden Daniels, Marcus Mariota backing him up. And they went out and got Ricard White at running back, Jerome Ford. And they still got Corey Krosky Merritt.
Yo, I'm giving these boys a 5.
Damn, 5?
I think they worse than us. Traylon Burks has shown that he's a first-round bust. Terry McLaurin, I'm sorry, he's not that dude. He's just not. He's a good player, but he's not that dude. Luke McCaffrey is cool, but he ain't that. Jaden Lane gonna have to step up for them this year. Jaden Lane gonna have to step up tremendously for them this year. Larry Tunsil is cool, but he has issues at times, but he's still one of the best tackles in the game. Chris Paul, that whole inside of that offensive line can be suspect at times. Josh Connolly Jr. can be suspect at times. Chig Okonkwo, he's solid. He's a receiving tight end, but I don't think he gives you much in the run game, though. I don't think he gives you much in the run game. And then you do have Jaden Daniels. He's been getting hurt. But Rashad White and Jerome Ford, okay. Krosky Merritt, okay. And McNichols, there's like a bunch of B-rated running backs. So they're going to have a running back by committee. Whoever has the hot hand.
They might draft Jeremiah Love, bro.
Now, if they get Jeremiah Love, that's going to be a problem.
See that? Because looking at that running back room, yeah, that makes sense for y'all. With Jaden Daniels over there, he needs more help.
But yeah, I give him a solid 5 right now. I'll be generous. I'll give him a 6. Right now, I'm looking like a 5, bro.
I'm gonna put it like this. And a lot of this does hinge on the draft for all these teams, but I'm gonna put it like this: a lot of this is gonna be based on Jaden Daniels getting back, being healthy. Just like you talked about Malik Neighbors with the Giants. So I think healthy Jaden Daniels, just like healthy Malik Neighbors, I think that puts them both at a 6, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with a 6. And they're gonna have to work, like you said, for every little bit that they get. And you got to see what they do in this draft. It's gonna be huge for them, especially looking at this. And we looked at the defense, and it ain't much better. Commanders roster is not really great. I'm so underwhelmed by this.
They went all in on all them old guys.
Poor Jaden Daniels. All right, let's get to the Cowboys. The goddamn Cowboys. All right. Now, this team right here is this might be where you have to look just offensive wise. All right, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Ryan Flannery. They got Jonathan Mingo, Paris Campbell, and Kavon Thibodeaux receivers. Offensive line, Tyler Guyton, The Tyler Show. Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, Terrence Steele. Got Jake Ferguson and Luke Schoonmaker.
Spanford, Brevin Spanford too.
Quarterback Prescott, of course. We got Sam Bowell backing him up, and Joe Milton out there too. Javonte Williams, running back. Malik Davis, Jordan Blue, and Phi Mafa. And they got a fullback too, Hunter.
One of the best ones in the game.
Look, man, I can't stand the goddamn Dallas Cowboys. I really can't. But they got the best offense in the division.
And it's not close.
I'm giving them an 8.
I'm giving them boys a 9. It's not close. You got 2 number 1 receivers. All those dudes can play in the slot. Kavon Thibodeaux, Paris Campbell, or Ryan Flournoy. They're getting back to their roots with the offensive line. They had one down year, got right back to it. And you don't think they're going to get some more people to come in and be backups? Okay. You got 3 good tight ends. that could come in and play. Dak Prescott always does his thing, even though I don't think he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he does his thing. Javonte Williams had a resurgence last year. Then you got the speed with Jadon Blue, the power of Malik Davis and Phil Maffa, and a very good man. Yeah, I'm with you, Iman Perry. 9.5, bro. Easily.
Yeah. I grade things a little harder, so I'm gonna give them an 8. But they do fall in line as being the number 1 team in this division. My thing with the Cowboys, particularly on offense, is like, I think Dak Prescott is definitely better than Jalen Hurts. I think that gives them the edge over the Eagles. But, you know, you still got to see playoff Prescott come through for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that's going to always be a question for the Cowboys. They do have a George Pickens situation over there. It's the drama aspect to me, you know, is what gets in the Cowboys' way. But I do think that talent-wise, they grade out pretty good, pretty solid at pretty much every position, more or less. So it's just the nuances with the Cowboys. You know what I mean? It's the nuances. And then you got to think about coaching and culture and all that stuff. But so grading out, Cowboys will be first by both of our standards. Then Eagles, Giants, Commanders. I actually got the Giants and Commanders tied, but they can both change that in this draft. So, all right. Now, let's get to our next segment here. Going to go to little known Giants. And just want to give you guys a peek at some cats on the roster that some back end guys, so don't get all in your panties holes and saying NYG said this dude is a player. Just looking at some of the back end guys of the roster and seeing if, you know, they could possibly make this team and possibly contribute. You know what I'm saying? Contribute. So we're gonna go to little known Giants here, and the guy I got on the screen here is Mr. Bo Collins. Bo Collins, of course, you see receiver out of Notre Dame, 132 receptions, over 1,700 yards, and 14 touchdowns at Notre Dame. You see his Giants stats there. Only got in 3 games. Ended up having an injury, put him on IR for the season, but 2 receptions, 25 yards in 2 games with the Giants. And this guy's 6'3", 206. So that is why I had him on my little known Giants list, because a lot of us been talking about getting a bigger, taller, faster receiver to pair out there with Malik Neighbors. A lot of Giants fans were high on this guy, I remember last offseason, you know, and of course, he's got a long hill to climb. We looked at the roster just now. You talking about, you know, Austin and Mooney and Slayton and Hyatt and all these other guys. But hell, I think he can beat Jalen Hyatt out. And who knows? You know, if the Giants don't go receiver in the first 2 to 3 rounds, he might have a shot to make the roster, because they ain't going to have a lot of depth on the back end. You know, you got Gunnar Olszewski there, you know, but those are slot guys. We're looking at guys like him to be that X receiver. Now, can he bulk up, get in the weight room, add a little more muscle? You know, we shall see. But 6'3", 206, like the size, you know, he showed a little bit out last year in the preseason, y'all remember. Scored a touchdown. So keep your eye on Bo Collins. You know, if he don't make the roster, I think he definitely going to be around on the practice squad, man. And this may be a guy you might see on the field if some injuries or something happen for the New York Giants this year. So, little known Giants, that's what I got for y'all, man. Mr. Bo Collins, formerly out of Notre Dame. And, hey, he might be seeing more of this cat, man. Never know. But what you think about it, Pat? Bo Collins.
He's definitely worthy of being on special teams right now. And you always have those players, man, that really don't get their shot, but when you do give them their shot, they take advantage of it. Like I said, he's just a guy that gets deep on teams. Like, you don't expect him to have that deep speed, and all of a sudden he's running down the field with a huge play. So I would definitely give him a shot over Jalen Hyatt. I would definitely give him a shot over Isaiah Hodgins. I'd definitely give him a shot over Cambry and all those other guys. So if he turns out to be your fifth receiver, let him play. Let's see what he got. You know, he may come in and be that big guy. He's 6'3". What a deep threat on him, because Hodgins is barely taller. No, Hodgins is only 6'4", so he's 6'3". So he gives you more speed, more route running, and let's see if he can pull down some catches in the clutch for you. You need role players. Let him build a role for himself. That's what I would do.
Yeah, man. No doubt, man. But I'm going to be giving y'all more of these little known Giants. Just you know, just some players out there, man, that not a lot of people talking about, and players that could possibly make this roster. All right, man. It's that time, man. You know what it is, man. We do this. And this is the time, man, we get a little silly, get a little quirky, get a little, as they say, out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? So, this is On the Money Out of Pocket, man. Got some stuff cooked up for y'all, man. You know, it's just fun, you know, for shits and giggles. So please don't take this stuff serious. If you do, you do. You just in your feelings. They're not gonna help you with it. But this is all for jokes. All right, On the Money Out of Pocket. Let's get it.
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket.
All right, man. Let's get into it, man. I got some of this music in here. There we go. All right. So, first up, man, we got off the field interceptions. Off the field interceptions, and we are going to let's get into this. Hold up. There we go. All right, Jalen. So Jalen Ramsey, get this up. Jalen Ramsey says he used to message the girlfriends of opposing receivers on Instagram before games. Let's
in college. Like
let's hear this, man.
State, I was grinding, like super grimy.
Hold on, man. These dudes. Hold on, bro. Jalen Ramsey, take a listen.
In college, like when I was at Florida State, I was grimy, like super grimy. I didn't care. Like I would look up his Instagram, see his girlfriend, whatever, boom, boom, sliding her DMs. She was going. She was going. Yeah. You know, we get to the game. I'm bringing it up in the game, like, yeah, you know.
Oh, we can't play that. But you get the idea. So Jalen Ramsey sliding DMs. with the off the field interception on the money out of pocket, man. What y'all got for me, man?
Man, listen. What a hell of a strategy. He out of pocket, but what a hell of a strategy, because everybody knew where he was going when he was in college. He was going in the first round when he was in college, so most of them probably were going. Let's just be honest with you. Most of those chicks or those dudes, they were gone. They see a first round talent, they see first round money, and first round money means millions. So of course they gonna go. He out of pocket for what he did, but he's smart for doing it. So yeah, if I knocked your chick off before the game because she went for it, man, that's tough. Off the field interceptions. That's exactly what it is. He picked her off.
Picked off.
Man.
Right.
That is
Your
tough.
woman has been picked off.
Man.
All right, man. Moving on. Next up, we got out of bounds. So let's take a listen here as former Dolphins Raheem Mostert talks about Mike McDaniel and lack of respect. So let's take a listen here.
When you with the head coach, I don't want, look, I'm a 33-year-old running back who's played it. I don't need somebody MFing me and telling me what to do,
right?
Especially a head coach, because I'm gonna probably talk to him sideways too,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, look, I'm a grown man. I pay bills just like you,
right?
Like, I don't need you to talk to me like that,
but
I do need somebody that players can respect.
Yeah.
You know, respect go a long way, and I felt like there was a lack of respect, just because he didn't put any emphasis on trying to show respect to players, or at least try to demand respect.
Right. There's no boundaries.
Yeah. Like, if you got guys that, cussing coaches out on the sideline, you know what I mean?
It's over with.
But not just one time, like numerous times, or even put hands on a coach. Like, come on, that's different now. You know what I mean? When you
with
the head coach
putting hands on a coach. So Raheem Mostert here, referring to Mike McDaniel, saying Mike McDaniel cuss people out, but somebody ain't like it. Put hands on old Mikey D over there. No wonder he couldn't wait to get up out of Miami. Man, lack of respect, what my Raheem Mostert said. But are the Miami Dolphins players out of bounds for cussing Mike McDaniels out and possibly putting hands on the man?
They out of pocket. They out of pocket if they were trying to put hands on the man. Now, come on, man. But I do understand where he's coming from with that, and I can see that with a coach like Mike McDaniel. Like, he's not a leader of men, bro. Like, not saying that he's not a leader. He's not like a guy that can run the whole show to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a guy that can get your offense to a height. But like me and you always talk about, these offensive coordinators, they're a one-trick pony. The only thing they worry about, the offense. And the defense is just out there. You see what I'm saying? So you need, like, if he's going to be your head coach, you're going to need somebody like a Wink to be there to run that defense.
But can you put hands on the man, though?
No, that's out of pocket. That's it. That's out of pocket.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't put hands on the man.
Yeah, man. They said that dude had a lack of respect, and apparently, man, it got real rough over there in Miami. But I agree with you, man. That he wasn't no real coach like that. He better offensive coordinator, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right.
Offensive coordinator too.
Absolutely, man. I wouldn't mind if the Giants would have took a shot on him, but he went to John's brother, Jim, over there with the Chargers. But all right, so moving on. A lot of NFL teams, cut day. Cut day is a big thing in the NFL, and it is also a big thing for Mr. Todd Monken. Todd Monken here. So look, Todd Monken's been on this segment before. Todd Monken likes to stay fresh. So Todd Monken fully embraces the weight of missing the NFL coach's photo for his haircut. There's a major disappointment. That's why I went and got a haircut, for God's sakes. I wouldn't have gotten a haircut if it wasn't that damn important. So Todd Monken missed out on the coach's photo because he had to get fresh. Was Todd Monken on the money? Out of pocket.
Oh, man. I think this dude's gonna be a character over there in Cleveland. I don't know, man. I think he took that job for the money.
He got a haircut, apparently.
He might get 2 years out of Monken over there with Cleveland. He got to deal with Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, Myles Garrett.
Yo, but remember last time, right? He took the Ravens account money to buy him some Jordans.
And he was fresh though. Now that part, he was fresh. So you got Coach word more about appearance than the actual game.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put that moniker on him now, but we'll see when it comes to the season. This might just be for publicity. He knows how to be a showman. We'll see. But right now, it looks like you're putting silly things ahead of the actual game. But it's just a coach's photo, I guess. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But, you better cut it out, though, because if they don't start winning, when they start losing, they're going to bring all this back up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, man. So this one's been circling the internet. We're going to touch on it. And it's shit. It's wild. So, sideline reporter or side piece.
Oh, man.
Miss Diana Rossini has been spotted with Mr. Mike Vrabel together multiple times, holding hands at a luxury hotel in Arizona. Both are married. Mike Vrabel's been married to Jen Vrabel, and Diana Rossini's been married to Kevin Goldsmith, a Shake Shack executive. But that's not really the part that I wanted to... Oh, shit. Damn, I lost it. Hold on. That's not really the part that I want you guys to see here. So let me bring it back up. Not getting away. All right. So, Diana Rossini apparently has not been happy with her marriage for a while now.
Wow.
And she's been publicly dissing her husband. Take a listen.
They have a Super Bowl.
No, I did things in Miami I haven't even told my husband because it's just I had that much fun. It was not like that.
You see his face? He said,
I knew he would judge the kind of partying I was doing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what got into me. I just remember being down there acting like it was my last day on earth.
They have a Super Bowl.
No, I did things in Miami I haven't even told my husband because it's just I had that much fun. It was, but not like that. But like, I knew he would judge the kind of partying I was doing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what got into me. I just remember being down there acting like it was my last day on earth.
They have a Super Bowl.
No, I took it to Miami.
So, Diana Rossini. Yeah, she has. This has been happening for a while now. Apparently, this has been happening for a while, and that is not all she said.
A lot about him. If I was
Hold on. Yeah. I'm sorry, Diana. I got to cook you on this one. I got to do this for the men.
I'm married to someone average. I don't post a lot about him. If I was married to someone beautiful, I'd overpost too.
Now this doesn't nice. We have put together photos of Diana's husband here for everyone to see, so you can make some amends on national television.
We're average together. And you know what the worst part is? He sent me a text during that segment, not watching because he actually works for a living. And he said, good luck today. Be great on Get Up. So the guy's got a heart of gold. And here I am on national TV killing him. Look, we're average together, but he makes me above average because he married me. So I am so sorry. I need to really stop killing my husband on television. I'm going to be divorced by Christmas. I'm married to someone average.
Yeah, I think that divorce is on its way, Miss Rossini, especially after this Mike Vrabel stuff. So, lot to unpack there, but I'm gonna run it down to you like this. Calling your husband out on national television, way fucking out of pocket. Dating basically an NFL head coach. You can say what you want to say about that. Being married and doing it, yeah, out of pocket. And then you got to look at Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, man, that's why I got the text up here. Sideline reporter or side piece. Diana Rossini. In my opinion, you out of pocket with this shit. What y'all think, man? What's going on here?
Yeah, she's definitely out of pocket, but I think she's with a man that lets her get away with it. Maybe they have an open relationship. Who knows? I know one thing. If it's not an open relationship, she will be divorced within the next couple of months. And she's one of those chicks that's in the sports world. She likes a dominant man. I'm just going to be honest with you. Because that's why she's with Vrabel. If you actually seen what Vrabel is, that's exactly what he's, an alpha male to a T. That's what they call
Rossini is the side chick, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, you think the wife is the side chick, Iman?
Yeah.
Is it Jen?
You know, he got a girlfriend and wife on the side. You know what I'm saying? But she's definitely in the male dominant field, and so she's gonna want to be with a male that's dominant. And you don't think Vrabel is dominant? Look how small she is, bro.
Yeah,
look how big Vrabel is, bro.
Lord knows what's going on.
Man, listen. Like I said, we'll keep it PG.
I'm just saying, bro. Like
that's his chick. Whenever he wants her, he can have her. Don't matter what her husband says. If he doesn't like it or not, that's his chick.
Exactly.
It just works out like that.
But she is way out of pocket, like y'all said.
She putting it on Front Street though, which is messed up.
She definitely dogging her husband. Yeah, man. I was talking about her husband. Who's his side? I guess. Shit, I don't know. He need one though, for sure.
He needs something because that's not his. You might got a contract.
Did
with
you
her,
see the
dude?
The dude on the he said, "Oh,
yeah,
like I didn't know you got down like that."
Right. Trying to get them DMs after this.
Oh shit! You gonna get messing around. Jalen Ramsey get a hold of you.
Oh
DM.
man, right.
Oh snap! All
but
right,
ain't he some famous type dude too? Ain't he?
I just said he's the owner. He's the executive for Shake Shack.
Okay.
So he got the burger joint. She getting her burgers flipped.
Yep. Taking good care of those little patties.
All right, I got one more for y'all. We're gonna bring this one back to football. And this is probably the dumbest shit I heard on the internet all week. So I got to play this one. Hey guys.
For the first time since 2015, does a team trade up in the first round for a running back? That was Melvin Gordon of the Chargers in 2015. Jeremiah Love may be the best player in this draft. He is explosive with the ball in his hands. He's an impeccable pass blocker. He catches the ball 63 receptions. And if I'm the New York Giants and I'm trying to John Harbaugh, do I actually think about trading up above the Tennessee Titans at 4? Maybe flipping Peter with Arizona at 3 to get a tone-setting, culture-setting player in Jeremiah Love. For the first time since 2015, does a team trade up in the first?
Right. So, trading up for a running back. Y'all already know how I feel about drafting a running back just at 5. This son gun here said trade up. Trade up? Are you fucking crazy, bro?
Bruh.
This shit's out of fucking pocket, bro. Way out of pocket, bro.
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket.
Yeah, bro. How in the hell? Like, come on, man. What y'all think, though, man? On the money, out of some people might say you on the money. I don't know. Y'all trading up for a running back to 3? What you got, Pat? What you think?
This dude, man. I need to go ahead and do what we need to do because I want to be a sports analyst and get up here. If you can say stuff like this and be a sports analyst, I can do this.
This is a former general manager.
A former general manager tells a team that already has hardly no draft assets this year, that has 2 running backs on the team already, to trade up, jump in front of the Tennessee Titans, your old former head coach, to get Jeremiah Love for a running back that a team that's already been through it with Saquon Barkley.
The Jets. Yeah. The goddamn Jets. That's who he was GM for.
Like,
he had a job
there's
since.
so many things wrong with what he just said, bro. So what are you gonna give up to go to the number 3 pick? You gonna give up the number 5? You gonna give up your 2nd round pick this year too?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm the Cardinals,
because you ain't just getting
it's a top 3 pick.
Right.
There's a difference between the 3 and the 5 pick. It's a huge difference when you look at the draft chart. I don't know, man. That's stupid to me, bro.
Yeah, this dude's something else, man. But
I think he hates the Giants.
I think he does. I think he does shit like that because wasn't he the one he said something else? I think he's the one that said
a lot of
Dexter
dumb
Lawrence.
stuff.
Yeah. He said trade Dexter Lawrence too. Like he's really an idiot. But he's the GM for the Jets. So joke's on you, Mike. You ain't been in the league since. You working for ESPN.
Whatever hotel room he in, he need to chill out and order some room service and go back to sleep, man.
Sip that martini and go to bed.
Thanks, bro.
Cause says I can meet up with him. Yeah. I like to talk to him too. Ask him what the fuck he drinking.
He said trade up to get him, not just take him at 5. Trade up to get him. Good God.
Yeah. But that's been on the buddy out of pocket, man. This dude's way the fuck out of pocket, and it ain't even close. No way in hell the New York Giants should be doing any trading up of any sorts, especially not in the first round, and double, especially not for a running back. But that's all I got for y'all. Till next time, man, on the money out of pocket.
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket.
All right. So, but yeah, that's all I got, man. That's a packed show for the day, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Pat, man, any last words, man, before we kick it on out of here? Hey, y'all stay tuned because we got the draft. We got our last mock draft coming up this Thursday. Be on the lookout for Heart of the City Wednesday. And we will be giving you full coverage of the NFL draft. All 3 rounds. I plan to be there for all 3 rounds. And definitely, man, y'all stay tuned here for New York Giants conversations. I'm going to be running New York Giants conversations all the way up probably until all of this month and next month. Just because we're going to have so much to cover. We're going to have schedule release. We're going to have mini camps. We're going to have to talk about the draft. So, we're going to be giving y'all consistent shows. We'll take a break, of course, around June, then come back full steam ahead, man, for the season, man, for training camp. But that's our plan over here on Unpopular Opinion Sports with the Aboriginal Sports Network. I'm your host, NYG Double Deuce. What Big Pat Sports Talk, man, giving you Giants conversations. But Pat, man, last words, man, before we take it home.
Yeah, this show definitely needs to be on here. There's a lot of people that's out of pocket around here. Show definitely needs to be here because we need to have some real conversations about this Giants team. And this is where the conversations are going to be had. Not going to be no fluff or trying to do breaking news. We having full conversations about what this team is about. So if you want to come here, you want to speak your mind, or hear some dudes really talk about what's going on with this team, you come right here to Giants Conversation. This is the barbershop. This is home. Come home if you want to talk some Giants football, man. Some real Giants football. And let's just have a conversation, man. Giants Conversations. Let's talk about the team, man. All opinions are welcome.
No doubt, man. But that being said, man, we're going to get on up out of here, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody tuning in. And again, like we say, keep it locked here, man, for all your New York Giants conversations. Till next time, man, we up out of here, man. Peace.
Welcome